Okay, welcome everybody to Healing Vibrations. My name is Travis, and today we are going to do a tuning fork healing session on our client Anthea. We will start with the tuning fork of 432 hertz, which is known as one of the harmonics of the universe, a very pure vibration. We will do this to do a full body scan and find areas of tension, discomfort, and lack of circulation. And with these tuning forks, we will actually help clear out the stale movement of either the lymphatic fluid, the blood, or the oxygen, and get fluids moving in her body. What we will be using is a entire chakra set of different tuning forks that are tuned specifically to the density areas of each location of the body. Each area has different levels of density, which can only be penetrated with specific harmonics and specific frequencies in specific places. So today we are going to go through all of them. So I like to start with the tuning fork of 432 hertz. So this is pretty much a neutral tuning fork, which I use to do a full body scan and find areas of discomfort and find areas that don't have a pure resonance to them. There are many ways to strike a tuning fork. Lots of people will hit it on their lap, but to me that doesn't resonate as nicely as I like. You could also strike it on your hand, but again, if you do that too much, your hand is going to become bruised, which defeats the purpose of the whole healing session. What I like to use is a striking mallet for my crystal singing bowls. And so how that works is I just ring it like so, and after I ring it, I will do the full scan, find the areas of the highest density, and I will just go through each of her chakras with each of the tuning forks and work out any tension areas that she may have. So as I move the tuning fork through the body, it feels smooth until I reach this area where it almost feels like I'm running through rough air. Which continues on to her occiput and throughout her neck. Usually when you find an area of high density, the tuning fork will resonate for a much shorter time. So let's say I'm in this area. It will resonate for quite some time. It feels very smooth here. As I reach over here, I can feel how the vibration flattens out. Great. So for the most part, Anthea has quite good circulation. Her blood flow seems to be where it needs to be. So she shouldn't be experiencing too much pain or discomfort. I also like to work the muscle tissue because physical contact is also very important when it comes to clearing out areas of blockages. And feeling with your hands, getting good palpation skills, can really allow you to specify and pinpoint what areas need the most work. So first we will use the root chakra and start down here at the root. So each of these specific tuning forks are also tuned to planetary systems. And so this tuning fork specifically vibrates at 194.18 hertz. As I'm resonating this tuning fork, because there's a very low frequency emitting out of it, it actually is going in all directions and specifically will work down and penetrate the root. So first I'll clear out her etheric energy, which is more on the exterior part of her body. You can work the tuning fork as high as 5 feet above the body, because where we carry things can be contained on a farther, more exterior level. And as I clear out these areas with this tuning fork, I work my way to the physical contact. It actually feels quite dense right at the base of her sacrum. So I'll just let this tuning fork hum and vibrate on this spot just to clear out any lymphatic fluid that might be stuck, any blood that might not be flowing appropriately, and get things moving on a cellular level. Now that we've done that, I will palpate with my hand and find what area might be the most dense. So the area is quite thick here, and that's actually right at the base of her spine. And so what we'll do now is I take the bottom piece and I place it right on the root of the spine. Since you're making the contact with the skin, it will actually allow those waves to penetrate and actually contact the muscles and contact the bone. As you work on a client with this, they will feel this resonance all the way through their body. Sometimes when an area is more dense than others, they might not feel anything at all. And that's when you know that you need to spend more time with that spot. I like to work in threes. I'll ring the tuning fork 3 times just to get a good basic clearage of each area. So that is the root chakra. Now we'll be moving on to the sacral. Now this tuning fork is the sacral. As you'll see, each of our tuning forks have different levels of thickness and different lengths, which enable them to produce different frequencies and different tones for different areas. So this tuning fork specifically is tuned to the frequency of 210.42 hertz, which is correlated to the sacral chakra. This area actually feels quite clear as the tuning fork is humming without any interference. The client may be able to feel these waves penetrating their spine, even from this level. So with the tuning fork, I like to place it on 3 different areas as well. We didn't with the root chakra because that area had a specific dense spot. But since this area doesn't seem to be very dense, what I will do is I'll go onto each side of the spine, and then the third one I'll place directly on the spine. And as I do so, the client will feel the vibration all the way up her spine as it stimulates the fluid, stimulates the cerebral spinal fluid, gets the lymphatic fluid going, and gets the circulation moving. That is our sacral chakra. Next, we will be using the solar plexus. This tuning fork is tuned to 126.22 hertz. It actually comes with a deeper, heavier resonance. And as you can see, it's quite a bit longer than our previous. As you can see, the length is quite different, which is going to give it a longer, heavier tone, which you will probably be able to audibly hear. Again, it's really good when you're using these to actually palpate the tissue, allow for things to be cleared up on a physical level before you introduce the vibration of frequency and sound. Because the more work that you do on the client, the better. It's great to incorporate both. I can feel the vibration deeply with my hand as well. It has a very heavy, deep hum to it. It's very nice. This is one of my favorite frequencies. This area seems to be quite clear as well. But there seems to be what feels like a scratch. Almost like a scratch in the air. As I'm working on this spot. I'll actually give it another ring just because I did feel something different. I kind of see it as, let's say you have a whiteboard that has marker marks on it, and you take an eraser, and you're just clearing off those marker marks. This is what I visualize as an eraser, clearing out areas of density and discomfort. The deeper the resonance of the tuning fork, the deeper the buzz through the body, and I can feel this resonance all the way down her spine. I can feel it down at the base of her sacrum. Creates almost a tickling sensation on the bottom of my fingers. The vibration and frequencies of these tuning forks are extremely effective. Seems subtle, and it actually is quite subtle. But these waves are penetrating all throughout the body, which in turn causes the cells to move and in turn clear out. It just gets things moving, because that's what sound does. When you place the tuning fork directly on the spine, it can create a tickling sensation in the client. So if the client ever feels any sort of discomfort or pain, it's good for them to notify you and let you know that what you're doing doesn't feel good. Since I found that scratch, I will be doing an extra ring just to make sure we get whatever it is we came across cleared up. That's great. So we've worked through the first 3 chakras. We have 4 more. Next, we will be working on the heart chakra, which is right in this area here. This frequency is at 136.10 hertz. And first, we will just kind of palpate the area, clear out the muscle tissue, just so the sound can work through the muscle in the body with ease. It's also completely okay to use the tuning forks on the front of the body. The heart chakra, the heart tuning fork specifically, is one of my favorites, because when you place it right above the heart, it sends a pulse through your whole entire body that will give you goosebumps, make you tingly, and you can really feel the effects. What I'm doing here is I'm finding muscles that have a high density that feel different than the rest. And I'll just take my thumb and just place it directly on that muscle. As you squeeze the muscle, I visualize it as a sponge. When you have a dry sponge, what happens to it? It becomes hard and crusted. When you visualize the muscles like a sponge, because they have muscle fibers, when they get stressed and they lack oxygen and they don't have a good circulation to them, they begin to just crystallize and freeze, becoming hard and painful. And when you come with your thumb, you're actually able to compress that muscle, which in turn squeezes like a sponge. And then when it opens up again, it allows the blood flow, the oxygen, and everything to start flowing back through it, because you've created the space by squeezing. So imagine you take the sponge and you place the sponge in the water. It might not absorb the water that quickly, but as soon as you crush the sponge, it fills with water. I like to see the muscles that way. Whenever I find a muscle that's hard, I think it's time to squish that sponge and increase that circulation. The heart tuning fork is also quite dense. It gives a heavy, deep hum that you can feel throughout your whole entire body. You can also see it as a windshield wiper. So you have bugs and dirt all over your windshield on your vehicle. You spray it with sound in this case, and you just wipe away the muck. You wipe away the dense, stale energy the same way a car would wipe away the dirt and the bugs. This heart chakra, hers is very smooth. Feels very clear and clean. Smooth resonance throughout my hand and a smooth resonance throughout the tuning fork. And we'll place it on her back. Placing the tuning fork on the client may spontaneously cause them to take deep breaths as they're integrating this sound and this vibration into their body, which usually will ring through their entire core. Again, I feel the frequency and the buzz from this tuning fork all the way down to the base of her spine. Beautiful. So there I placed it directly on the spine, and it seemed to go flat. Lots of times when you place the tuning fork on a harder object or surface, it will cause it to run out a little more quickly. But just in case, we'll ring it a fourth time. Yes. And clear the area out. Great. The next tuning fork we will be using is the throat chakra. This hertz is tuned to 141.37 hertz. So you can see this one's quite long as well. And so the neck is usually an area that carries a lot of tension. So I really like to get in the neck. What I'll do is I'll use my knuckles and I'll just knead my knuckles, shiatsu style, through the neck. As I do that, it pulls and pushes on the muscles as well as on the fascia, which increases again the circulation of all the fluid and oxygen. Just pulling, creating traction, just so that the waves of the tuning fork can work their magic. So this tuning fork went more flat as I worked on the right side. So we will give the right side a little more attention. Make sure we clear out whatever it is that may be creating that discomfort. Your guests may experience all different types of sensations. They may feel dull, ringing. They may feel smooth, tingling. They may feel spontaneous release as their muscles are moving and twitching, letting go of the tension that is being held. We'll ring this a fourth time as well. Now, it doesn't matter how many times you ring the tuning fork. In lots of my sessions, as I do 90-minute sessions as well, I'll spend quite some time on each area and work on a higher level, around 3 to 4 feet off of the body. But for camera's sake, we will just keep it low. Placing the tuning fork on the neck also creates incredible sensations. The neck is an area that you can very clearly feel energetic releases as well as muscular releases. You may feel blood start to rush to the area. Again, each of these tuning forks, you can feel the vibration all the way down to the base of the spine, as you know the body is being cleared out. These waves, these vibrations are being cleared throughout the whole entire body. Lots of times you can go with your intuition on what areas need extra love, extra care. I will ring a few more times with this neck. Make sure we get through the occiput. Clear out whatever blockage may be inside. And just allow the client to completely relax so they can consciously and subconsciously release their own things, release their own pain, release their own discomfort. As we are tools for each other, we are tools to help each other. So as I work on the right side, it feels very thick, feels very dense. So I do want to spend more time on this area. This is a reoccurring area in many people. Lots of us have pillows that create discomfort and kinks in the neck. And looking down at our cell phones, looking down at computers if we have desk jobs, will create a lot of tension buildup. And the waves of this tuning fork just clear things out. Allow you to let go of that tension that's being held, that no longer serves you. Great. It's always good to just work again with your hands. Move and shift the muscles, the ESGs, the erector spinae group, the muscles that run along the spine. So they're no longer fighting with each other for which side wants the spine. We can just allow all of it to just be released. So there's no more tension and pull from opposite sides, but a surrender from each side to just let the spine go. What I'll also do is catch traction on the sacrum and just shake the body. As you do this, it creates space in each of the vertebrae, allowing your work to be more effective. Moving on. As we move on to the next tuning fork, this will be our third eye tuning fork, which is tuned to the frequency of 221.23 hertz. This one is, as you can see, much smaller than the rest, and it creates a higher pitch, a higher frequency, which is able to go through the skull and allow the organs inside your mind, inside your skull, to be cleared out. And again, we'll just get the blood flowing. We'll allow the fascia of the scalp to be more pliable as we separate the fascia. It allows the fluids to move through the skull with ease. It's good to get a good scratch in there. As you scratch the skull, you stimulate the nervous system. As you stimulate the nervous system, your body goes into a self-healing mode. Now this tuning fork feels really nice on the back of the skull. And as it's placed, the client again will feel it through the entire body. This tuning fork is also really nice for the front of the body as you place it directly in between your eyebrows. When it's placed in between your eyebrows, you'll feel a sensation tickling inside your mind. Now the density of the skull is a little harder to penetrate for the frequencies. So that's why it's a higher pitch. It goes through smaller crevices in the sutures of your skull and allows the fluid to move. Now as I use this on the left side, the note went flat faster than it did on the other sides. So we'll just ring it again, just to make sure we're clearing everything out. So we clear the mind, clear the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. Clean out your glands so the flow of fluid is more pure, allowing for chemicals to be made, producing serotonin. Allowing you to sleep with ease. Great. And again, as I move through, each of the tuning forks, I work my way back down the body just to make sure we are clearing any blockage, any tension, any discomfort that the client may be experiencing. The last tuning fork we will be using is the crown chakra, which we will place directly on the top of the skull. This tuning fork also creates a spectacular sensation that sends a frequency and vibration all the way down to your toes, which the client will very clearly feel. This frequency is tuned to 172.06 hertz. And since we already cleared the head, we'll make sure that everything's flowing appropriately. It's good to really get in there with the client and get your nails in there and just get that lymphatic fluid going. Some more profound healing can take place. With this, I'll place it directly on the top of the skull. As I do so, you'll feel a deep resonance going through the body again. Feel it very clearly. It's quite a spectacular sensation for the client and for the therapist. This area on the client is moving quite smoothly. And with the pineal gland and the crown, we didn't smooth out the etheric energy as well. We just jumped right in. It doesn't matter if you use it on the exterior or just going straight in to the physical touch. But we'll actually just clear the entire head. Just wipe out whatever dense spots may be held. Clearing out whatever density may be in the skull of the client. We'll place it one more time on the crown of her skull. Perfect. Now, before I conclude the session, I like to do one more run through with the 432 hertz, just so that we can smooth out everything we've cleared, get everything flowing in perfect homeostasis. The 432 hertz is the highest pitch of all. Very, very fine frequency. And we'll go over again the areas that had the blockages before, the areas of density, and see how our work has done. You can really feel how smooth her field becomes. how smooth the tuning fork resonates now from the work we've done. Beautiful. Place the tuning fork. As we work up our entire spine, every 2 to 3 inches or so. Just as final tuning, final adjustments, final clearing. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking this time to experience a tuning fork healing session. As we use the healing vibrations of those tuning forks, we're able to clear the body, heal the body, heal the mind, and heal the soul. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.